With over 100 years of history, Dong Xuan was until recently one of the most famous markets in Vietnam, but for all the wrong reasons. It was the hub for endangered wildlife trade until this woman, Thi Quyen, led a campaign with her team of volunteers to try and turn things around in 2005. She approached the market's management to kickstart meetings with the stall owners to educate them about the illegal nature of their work. After half a year of wrangling, they finally changed their trade to legal animal sales like pets or seafood. But Quyen did not start out with a passion for conservation. It was by chance that this geography major was introduced to an environmental NGO, Fauna and Flora International, by her lecturer after graduation. All Quyen wanted to do then was to work outside of the city, so she took up the NGO's offer to start research at Cuc Phuong National Park.
When I first came to Cuc Phuong to join the Cuc Phuong Conservation Project, one of my friends said, "You're crazy. You know, why do you give up the city and work in a forested area?" But when I came here, I saw a lot of people, including Vietnamese and foreigners as scientists, and they left their beautiful country and came to work in the forest. And I really admire them, and I start to begin knowing a part of the lives that I never knew before.
Cuc Phuong was also where Quyen met her husband Douglas for the first time. It was also after his encouragement that she gave up her job there to try to set up the first local environmental NGO in Hanoi, which proved to be quite a difficult task back then in 2000.
So when I set up ENV, I was only 25 years old. Plus, on top of that, I was married to a foreigner. As a young woman, it's difficult itself to develop a local NGO. And also at that time, the concept of local NGO was quite new to Vietnam. And so it took us almost 2 years to set up the organization.
Cuc Phuong is one national park that Quyen revisits frequently now because Education for Nature often transfers endangered species that it confiscates to the different animal conservatories here. Today, they're returning an Asian giant pond turtle back to the wild. After the initial inspection to ensure that the turtle is in good condition, the conservatory staff takes it to its new home. One reason why Quyen wanted to start her own organization in 2000 was because she wanted to work closely with the local national parks to preserve Mother Nature in her entirety. She found herself doing just that by educating park rangers and the local communities living around the area. And so far, ENV has trained 14 park staff and has had discussions with an estimated 50,000 residents in Cuc Phuong alone.
In Vietnam, we have more than 80 million people living in a small country, and we are destroying our own natural forests and landscapes. And I think it's very important for every single Vietnamese to start caring about the environment and not just putting off to the government or NGOs or other organizations. So I feel that it's very important as a Vietnamese person. I'm responsible for encouraging other Vietnamese to start caring about the environment, to protect our own environment.
Over the years, Quyen has realized that if she wants to focus on educating the public to love nature, she must start with the young. And so it was that ENV bought a van and spruced it up to make its own mobile unit. It's been designed to bring Quyen and the rangers for social visits in the areas surrounding the national parks. ENV has also designed a 13-lesson school plan to be included in the curriculum for most of the schools. From the looks of the kids during lesson time, Quyen's plan has turned to be quite a success.
Education is very difficult to see concrete results, but we get a lot of feedback from students. You know, every so often we get letters. Students say, you know, my teacher teaching me to protect beautiful birds in the forest, but then every weekend he go into the forest and hunt birds. Can you tell me what I can do? So every little things like that, every little, you know, feedback that you get from people, that counts.
Quyen's next goal is to go regional, to work with other countries like Laos and Cambodia in conservation efforts. This might seem like a small step for now, but this environmentalist is probably already dreaming up bigger plans for the future.
Asia is endowed with its own distinctive cultures and traditions. But it's also a region where competing norms, political beliefs, and values collide. See Asia through a different perspective, feel its real pulse, and keep up with the analysis of the story behind the news. On Insight, only on Channel News Asia.
Love the channel? Check out our award-winning website. ChannelNewsAsia.com is now better than ever. We're hooking up with Forbes to boost our content. We're putting in links to our special features. And we're adding more videos and news in photos for a more interactive experience. So for news and information with Asian perspectives,